There is some very serious drama unfolding in Tanzanian politics. And this drama could have far-reaching effects on the future of this country. And the drama revolves around a man called Bernard Membe. On the surface of things, it would seem that dictator John Pombe Magufuli has shut down the opposition, silenced the opposition, but then now it seems there's going to be a challenge from within his own CCM party. Something he probably did not see coming. Well, that's how it looks like on the surface. But we're going to go a lot deeper into this, because initial looks can be deceiving. But word on the streets and word on social media is that the 2020 CCM candidate for president will not be John Pombe Magufuli as expected. Instead, CCM are going to field Bernard Camillus Membe. But is this true? Membe himself strongly denies it. Membe says he's strongly supporting John Pombe Magufuli. But which serious political analyst can believe what comes out of a politician's mouth, without weighing it and digesting it carefully? No serious political analyst can do that. So what Membe says may not be as important as what he is doing. Now, there's something very important I need to say on the onset. I would not have analyzed these rumors on social media. I would not have paid attention to them, had one thing not happened, just one thing. And this one thing is a man called Cyprian Musiba. Cyprian Musiba came out a few days ago and held a press conference. The purpose of that press conference was to attack Bernard Membe and to appeal to the CCM party to remove him from the party, to revoke his membership to the CCM party. Now, why was this so significant to me? Why did this draw my attention to this issue? After all, Musiba uropokwa tu. Ye huongea, anaita waandishi wa habari na anaropokwa. Anasema mambo mengi, anatusi watu. Translation, this is a John Pombe Magufuli sycophant. He calls press conferences all the time. To hurl insults and abuses at people. And to accuse people of various things. So why should I pay attention to Musiba? I'll tell you why. Musiba claims that he is independent. He claims he's speaking like an ordinary Tanzanian. However, in his latest press conference, Musiba gave us some very serious inside information. So where did he get it from? The truth is, the kind of information he gave out, there are very few people with the capabilities and resources of gathering such information. Musiba said that Bernard Membe is always visiting Zimbabwe. And when he goes to Zimbabwe, he doesn't stay in a hotel. He stays with a certain general who is a previous vice president of the country of Zimbabwe. And according to Musiba, the main objective and the main reason for these visits by Membe to Zimbabwe to this general is to strategize and raise funds for him to make a bid to be the CCM candidate in 2020, because John Pombe Magufuli's first term expires in 2020. There'll be a presidential election due then. Now, normally in Tanzania, the president who is currently in power is always automatically approved to vie for the presidency again. However, according to Musiba, Membe is very busy making plans to successfully challenge John Pombe Magufuli for a second term, so that CCM go for Membe instead of Magufuli, which the CCM rules allow. Musiba also said in his press conference that Membe visits the Democratic Republic of Congo, where there's about to be an election. And the excuse is that he is helping to supervise those elections, as an outside observer. Musiba tells us that that is just an excuse, that when he's in the DRC, he meets with a Chinese businessman. And the whole purpose of these meetings is for him to raise finances for 2020. The other sensitive inside information that Musiba gave us is that Membe already has quite a lot of funds in his account. He then hesitated and said, no, maybe the funds are in his house. Anyway, he has the funds, and those funds are ready for 2020. Where did these funds come from? According to Musiba, when Membe made a bid to be the CCM presidential candidate for the 2015 elections, which Magufuli beat him to, he had huge funds to support his bid. And he only used about 10% of those funds. The rest of the funds he kept intact. And these are the funds Membe is going to use in 2020. Now, there's only one source and one source alone that such kind of information can come from. And many of you may have already guessed. And that is the intelligence service of the country, Usalama wa Taifa. Now, the intelligence service in any country will not just give the information they have to anybody. Certainly, they will not give the information they have to somebody who's an independent citizen, who has got no backing from anybody. He's just talking like an ordinary Tanzanian. No way. The intelligence service answers only to one source and one source alone, the President of Tanzania. In other words, this makes it very clear that Musiba is speaking with the full blessings of dictator John Pombe Magufuli. And the quality of his information is what betrays him. Now get me right, this is very important. I'm not saying that the information Musiba is giving in his press conferences is 100% correct. No way. What I am saying is that this is the kind of information the Usalama wa Taifa can come up with, when they identify a threat to the presidency. It is highly unlikely that they know what is discussed in private between Bernard Membe and his Zimbabwean host inside his house whenever he goes there. But they have the resources to follow him around in a foreign country and to know that that is where he goes. And then they fill in the dots according to the agenda. The same with DRC. His visits to DRC and to the Chinese businessman. And the fact that Membe still has 90% of the funds that he had for his campaign in 2015 is information only the Usalama wa Taifa can have. Why? Because it involves going into the financial records of a person, going into bank statements, tracing personal expenditure. You need a very high level of clearance to access all that private data. Only the Usalama wa Taifa can have it. In fact, Musiba tells us the money is not in a bank. He suspects the money is in Mr. Membe's house. And this is not small change, it's a lot of money. We are talking about millions of Tanzania shillings. Actually, billions. Now, it's very interesting, because one of the big questions maybe we need to ask ourselves before we go any further is the following. Is Membe a threat to the dictator? The answer is yes, a very big threat. You see, Membe received the backing of former President Jakaya Kikwete. Jakaya Kikwete was very determined that Membe takes over the presidency when he retired. But unfortunately, there was a very big backlash, a very big opposition within CCM against Kikwete, former President Kikwete. This opposition to Kikwete was so vicious, that the delegates shut their eyes and decided that we don't care as long as Kikwete's agent, Kikwete's choice, does not succeed. That was their aim. And then the other delegates within CCM who were very determined, had the same determination to block Edward Lowassa from ascending to the presidency. Lowassa and Membe were the front runners. What happened next, and I've covered this in a previous video, was that Lowassa was disqualified from the race, and he moved to the opposition, and became the Chadema presidential candidate. You see, what had happened is that Lowassa had used a lot of money, and he had done his homework very well. So it was clear, to those supporting Membe that Lowassa was going to win. In other words, Lowassa was disqualified in order to pave way for Membe to win. So what happened when Lowassa was already out of CCM, and in the opposition, is that his supporters, his delegates, whom he had rallied behind himself and who were ready to vote, sent word and asked Lowassa, who shall we vote for now that you're out of the race? Now Lowassa decided to choose the weakest person, the person who would have the easiest time defeating in the upcoming presidential race. And so he chose John Pombe Magufuli. And Membe lost the CCM nomination to John Pombe Magufuli, a very unknown politician in Tanzania. And that is how John Pombe Magufuli ended up being president. So if we can analyze this politically, there are enough delegates within the CCM, those who supported Membe and will definitely support him again, as well as the Lowassa people. Those are enough to nominate Membe as the presidential candidate for CCM in 2020. Now, admittedly, when a person becomes president, things change. Everybody rallies behind that person because already he has power. He can dish out favors. So politically, things have changed. From the time of the CCM nomination, when John Pombe Magufuli was merely a candidate. However, there's a fact at play here. People don't like John Pombe Magufuli, even within the CCM party. And it is not easy to figure out why. Because John Pombe Magufuli has been behaving like the headmaster, the very strict headmaster of a high school, rather than a politician. Magufuli does not have much experience in politics, and therefore probably he does not know any other play. But the truth is, politics is brutal, and if you're a politician, you need to play politics, otherwise you're done. Whatever you want to achieve, you must first and foremost play your politics correctly. And playing your politics correctly is not treating people like school children in a high school. And so people may speak out in support of you. They may show outwardly that they're fully supporting you. But deep inside, it's a very different affair. And indeed, this is the reason why people like Cyprian Musiba exist for John Pombe Magufuli. Their work, Musiba's work, is to keep these enemies of the president in check. So, bottom line, the only way John Pombe Magufuli can survive and get his 2020 nomination is to remove Bernard Membe from CCM. There's no other way, which is what is clearly in the works. And let me tell you something else you may not know. This campaign, where Membe has suddenly burst into the limelight as a possible replacement of John Pombe Magufuli, was not engineered by Membe. Yes, guess who engineered it? It was actually engineered by John Pombe Magufuli. The idea is to smoke him out early, bring him out very early, and remove him from the party very early, so that by the time 2020 comes, there's no serious opposition within CCM to challenge Magufuli. Outside CCM, the ruling party, there's no problem because John Pombe Magufuli has shut down the opposition. He has imprisoned the main opposition leader. He has shut down the press. Nobody can dare talk. Nobody can dare even try and start getting support against Magufuli. There are easier ways of committing suicide. In my view, this is a tragic mistake, on John Pombe Magufuli's side. What I would have done, although I can never ever be a dictator, as draconian as this man, but let me just put myself in his shoes for a minute, for the sake of this argument. What I would have done if I was Magufuli would have been to wait. And then very close to the time of the nominations, I would have pounced and gotten rid of my opponent, Bwana Membe, by having him removed from the party. Why? Because by removing him at this early hour, what is happening is that he's making room for others to come up. Now, currently, Lowassa delegates will support Membe, Shingo Upande, if I can use the Swahili expression. Translation, they'll support him reluctantly, their main objective being to remove Magufuli. However, by removing Membe early, there's now a vacuum, and politics abhors a vacuum. There'll be a vacuum for somebody to fill in Membe's shoes, somebody who Lowassa people will fully support, and somebody whom Kikwete people who supported Membe will also fully support. And this man could be a much more serious challenge to Magufuli. Better the devil you know, than that other devil you don't know who's going to come up. Now I can fully understand why Magufuli is paranoid of Membe. You see, in Tanzania historically, the foreign minister has always, in most cases, ascended to the presidency. Mkapa was a foreign minister for many years. Jakaya Kikwete was a foreign affairs minister for many years. Bernard Membe was also a foreign affairs minister for many years. Therefore, going by president, Membe is always and will always be a front runner. Now, there's a very disturbing statement Cyprian Musiba made in that press conference. He used a Swahili word, a very brutal Swahili word. He said achinjwe, implying that Bernard Membe should be slaughtered, eliminated, because he's an enemy of John Pombe Magufuli and development. Now, ordinarily, somebody who makes such a statement about such a senior politician would have been immediately arrested and charged in court. But you can be sure absolutely nothing will happen to Musiba. And you know why? Musiba is above the law, and he has been put above the law by the person who has sent him, by the person giving him access to information from Usalama wa Taifa, and that is the President of Tanzania. This is the only explanation, because how else does a man get away with making such a statement, threatening the life of another person? And this is happening when Tanzania, the economy, is continuing to slide downhill at a very rapid rate. A financial crisis, like the one Tanzania is already in, will definitely affect this power struggle. And not in Magufuli's favor. That one I can tell you for free. And meanwhile, Magufuli has no idea what he's doing, because he's very busy pushing for more efficient tax collection, forgetting one very important factor. For people to pay taxes, they have to generate income first. And when income is sliding downhill at such a rapid rate, you can be sure that tax collection will go down, because people don't have money. People are not generating income. Some prominent businessmen are relocating to other countries. Others are postponing the expansion plans, and instead that money they're investing outside Tanzania. Bottom line, there are some very interesting things that are about to start happening in Tanzanian politics, and I'll keep you up to speed. Until next time, this is Kshs Kumekucha. In 2005, there was a lot of hopelessness amongst Kenyans. The promises of a new Kenya, the promises of a new beginning that were been given in 2002 during the general elections that had removed KANU from power were dead in the water. Out of those ashes, the Kumekucha brand was born in May 2005 to vent and to fight for a better Kenya, because long-suffering Kenyans have always deserved better. Contrary to propaganda on the web, the Kumekucha blog was never launched as a business enterprise, and through the years it has always been self-financed through some very difficult times. 12 years on and still counting, our basic premise lives on and remains the same. And that's why I'm really excited today to announce this golden new opportunity for you to reach a huge audience in Kenya and all over the world with the brief commercials for your business. They will of course interrupt our videos just like this message you're taking in. And like the Kumekucha videos, they'll be permanent. And what is more, we are so committed to ensuring that you get the results you desire that will allow you to place the spot for free. Yep, you will not pay for it. Yeah? You'll only pay for it when you're fully satisfied with the results. Of course, we'll request a small fee for the video production, but it's a pittance. Are we crazy? Oh no, we are not. We're just very sure that you're going to get a result. I mean, 10 million views is not a joke. Why are we doing this? Of course, it will go a long way in helping us cover our video production costs on this channel, but that's not the reason. That's not the main reason. You can call me naive, but I sincerely believe that the more prosperous businesses we have owned by Kenyans, the easier it will be to push through the changes we want. And by prosperous businesses, I don't mean businesses which make money out of corruption and stealing from public coffers. Those are not businesses, those are criminal enterprises. Anyway, if you have a genuine business, this is a golden opportunity for you, and I recommend that you take it on immediately. Get all the details you require in the video description area on this video on YouTube. Thanks so much for listening to me. All for a better Kenya.